CRMs for B2B sales, tracking SEO leads. SEO leads are already in your funnel. Your CRM just can't see them. If you're investing in SEO and content, but your CRM still lumps everything into website, you're not just missing reporting, you're missing revenue. Search is responsible for 76% of traffic to B2B websites, which means most of your discovery is happening before a rep ever sees a lead record. When that traffic finally converts, the CRM needs to preserve the story of how it started, or you'll undercount your best channel and misprioritize follow-up. That undercounting is common because organic intent arrives quietly. A buyer finds a comparison page, reads a guide, checks pricing, and only then submits a form. Meanwhile, 27% of marketers say organic search delivers the most leads, and 57% of B2B marketers say SEO generates more leads than any other initiative. In other words, your CRM isn't tracking a nice-to-have channel, it's tracking the channel that often feeds the pipeline. The good news is you don't need a complicated rebuild to fix this. You need clean source taxonomy, locked original source fields, and a workflow that treats SEO leads as high-intent inbound, captured, routed, and worked fast. In this guide, we'll show the practical CRM setup that turns anonymous organic sessions into measurable pipeline. Why SEO inbound behaves differently than website leads. SEO visitors are usually problem-aware before they're brand-aware. They land on a specific answer, often a blog, guide, or comparison page, then navigate toward high-intent pages like case studies, integrations, and pricing. If your CRM only stores website as the source, SDRs lose the context that makes the first call or email relevant. Speed also matters more than most teams admit. Responding within 5 minutes can drive up to 8x higher conversion rates. Yet, the average company still takes roughly 42 to 47 hours to respond to inbound leads. SEO does the hard work of earning intent. Slow follow-up is how that intent leaks to competitors. Finally, SEO influence rarely looks like a clean, last-click conversion. B2B deals typically involve multiple stakeholders and many touches across channels. So the CRM must show organic search as both an origin and an influence. If you only report on last touch, SEO will appear weaker than it really is, especially when the final conversion is direct traffic or a reply to a sales sequence. Define the attribution model before you touch your CRM. Most CRM attribution breaks because teams try to track SEO with a single lead source field. That field gets overwritten by later touches, values get inconsistent, Google organic versus organic search versus SEO, and reporting becomes untrustworthy. The fix is agreeing on a simple model. Preserve original discovery, track the most recent touch, and add a lightweight content intent layer sales can use. We recommend standardizing 3 levels of source data: channel, organic search, source detail, Google or Bing, and the entry context, landing page plus topic/keyword cluster. This isn't busy work. When 91% of companies with 10+ employees already use a CRM, advantage comes from configuration, not ownership. Clean attribution is how you make the CRM a system of action rather than a system of record. A practical rule: original source should be immutable after the first touch, while latest source can change as the buyer returns via email, direct, paid retargeting, or outbound outreach. When you separate those concepts, you can finally answer CFO-level questions like, how much pipeline started in SEO, instead of how many demo forms were last-click organic. Build the plumbing: forms, UTMs, and immutable source fields. Start with a lead source taxonomy you can enforce. Define how UTM medium, UTM source, and UTM campaign should look, and make the naming conventions non-negotiable across web forms, chat, trials, and content downloads. This matters because 55% of companies say CRM integration is the most important factor when selecting marketing automation. If the data doesn't map cleanly into the CRM, reporting and routing will fail. Next, ensure every capture path passes the same hidden fields into your CRM: channel, source detail, landing page, and refer at minimum. Then implement workflow logic to set original source fields at contact creation and prevent overwrites thereafter. You can still update latest source fields on subsequent conversions. This is the difference between SEO created the lead and SEO got replaced by direct none at the finish line. Finally, normalize messy URLs into a topic or keyword cluster field owned by marketing or RevOps. Reps shouldn't have to decipher a long URL string during a live call. They should see SOC 2 compliance or ERP versus MRP and open with the right conversation. Done well, this becomes the shared language between marketing and sales and removes the guesswork from prioritization. SEO doesn't fail in the rankings. Most teams fail in the handoff, where high-intent inbound gets treated like a generic website lead. Route and work SEO leads like high-intent inbound. Once SEO source data is reliable, routing becomes straightforward. High-intent actions should go to SDRs immediately with full context. That means demo requests, pricing page conversions, and contact sales forms trigger instant alerts and task creation, not a daily lead review. Your SLA should reflect the inbound reality. First touch in 5 minutes, not by end of day. This is where teams can blend inbound and outbound best practices without turning SEO into a spam engine. A good SDR motion uses short, context-aware outreach that references the exact topic the buyer engaged with, then offers the next logical step: a call, a relevant case study, or a quick qualification. If you already use a sales development agency, an SDR agency, or sales outsourcing to scale outbound, the same playbook can be adapted to work SEO hand-raisers with higher relevance and higher conversion. At SalesHive, we've seen that an outsourced sales team performs best when the CRM makes prioritization obvious. Topic, landing page, and intent signals should sit on the lead record, not buried in marketing automation. When our SDRs combine fast response with tailored email and calling, the conversation starts where the buyer already is, rather than forcing them to repeat what they just researched. Fix the data problems that break SEO attribution. The most common mistake is letting fields get overwritten. If a known contact returns and fills out another form, many stacks will replace organic search with whatever the last session looked like, often direct traffic, a bookmark, or an email click. Lock original source. Use separate latest source fields and audit workflows so the CRM doesn't silently rewrite history. The second mistake is partial coverage. Teams instrument the demo form but forget chat, trials, webinar signups, or gated content. Over time, reporting drifts and SEO looks inconsistent because only some conversions carry source data. Make a quarterly audit part of RevOps hygiene and treat missing UTMs the same way you'd treat missing email address, as a fix now issue. The third mistake is chasing perfect tracking instead of useful tracking. You don't need every clickstream event in your CRM. You need the handful of behaviors that correlate with SQLs and opportunities, like repeated pricing views or returning visits to comparisons. When 74% of companies say their CRM provides actionable data to optimize the funnel, the action comes from clarity, not volume. Clean fields, consistent mappings, and routing that sales trusts. Prove SEO ROI with CRM reporting and use it to drive outbound. SEO measurement shouldn't stop at traffic and form fills. It should connect to MQLs, SQLs, opportunities, and revenue by topic and entry page. This is especially important because inbound marketing can cost about 62% less per lead while generating 54% more leads than traditional outbound. If the CRM can't show organic's influence on pipeline, budget decisions will skew toward the channels that are easiest to attribute, not the ones that actually work. Build a shared dashboard in your CRM that both sales and marketing review. The point isn't vanity reporting, it's operational feedback. What topics create qualified conversations, what pages generate high ACV opportunities, and where lead response times slip. When this reporting is stable, you can also feed it into outbound targeting, using winning topics to inform messaging in your cold email agency copy or your B2B cold calling services scripts. This is where we often see alignment clicks. SEO tells you what buyers are already searching for, and outbound helps you reach lookalike accounts that haven't raised their hand yet. A good B2B sales agency or outbound sales agency can use your top converting organic themes to shape sequences, while the CRM closes the loop by showing what actually converts. That's how SEO stops being marketing content and becomes a predictable pipeline engine. Operational next steps and what to expect going forward. If you want this to stick, treat it as an operating system, not a one-time project. Lock your taxonomy, instrument every lead path, and set a simple SLA dashboard that makes response time visible every day. Once the basics are stable, you can layer in intent scoring and richer workflows without breaking attribution. Resourcing is usually the constraint, not the tooling. Many teams can drive organic traffic, but don't have the bandwidth to call and follow up quickly, especially when inbound volume fluctuates. That's where SalesHive can plug in alongside your CRM as a sales development agency, combining SDR execution with process discipline so SEO hand raisers get worked fast through email, LinkedIn outreach, and cold calling services, without your team having to hire SDRs just to keep up. Looking ahead, the teams that win won't just track SEO, they'll operationalize it. They'll know which topics create pipeline, which pages generate the highest win rates, and which response behaviors move conversion the most. When your CRM becomes the source of truth for organic demand, you stop debating SEO's value and start scaling what's already working.